What's going on, guys? It's Jay. Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing today? For those of you guys who are new, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoy the content. If you guys do, please go check out some other videos. I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy them. But today I'm bringing you guys a quick breakdown of the Darkness Dragon World split for the new set that's coming up this next Friday for War of the Drag Gods for Buddy Fight. It's coming out August 23rd, so next Friday, like I said. And let's get right into it. The first monster we're going to take a look at, you guys, is Jealousy Demon Dragon Envy. He's a Darkness Dragon World size 3 monster. Attribute is Demon Dragon. So just so I can skip through it really fast, so I don't have to keep repeating this. So that way I can skip through it really fast, and I won't have to keep repeating this part for all the monsters. All the monsters I'm going to be covering in this video are all Demon Dragon attributes. I'm gonna cover their stats as for like their power, crit, and defense, and their ability. But besides that, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm gonna cover. So his call cost is pay 2 gauge, put the top card of your deck into its soul. If you have 6 life or less, reduce its size by 3, so it becomes a size 0. His ability is Counteract. During your opponent's turn, choose one monster or item on your opponent's field, and you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, draw a card, nullify the chosen card's effect, and rest it. Then if your life is at 1, for this turn, that card cannot stand. This ability can only be activated once per turn. It also has Move, Double Attack, and Soul Guard. As for its stats, it has 8,000 power, 2 crit, and 8,000 defense. Honestly, overall,
that boy is good!
For a size 3 and for paying 2 gauge, the stats are okay. They're not the best. Not too bad overall, though. It's a really, really good card. I would definitely be playing 3 of this in the deck I'm going to be building, which I'll get into a deck profile once I have the card for you guys. And hopefully we'll get some gameplay in as well. But let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next monster now. We're moving on to the buddy monster himself, Eradication Demon Dragon Belial. Size 3, 1300 power, 3 crit, and 1300 defense. Call cost, pay 3 gauge. This card on the field cannot be destroyed, return to the hand, and its critical cannot be reduced by your opponent's card effects. If your life is at 1, this card gains Penetrate, and its crit to become 666. So, I mean, it has move and triple attack. So, I mean,
Let's talk about it.
That's really, really good for a size 3. He can't be bounced or destroyed, and his crit cannot be reduced. But that doesn't mean the damage he deals can't be reduced, because for the wording they use in Bushiro cards, damage, I guess, is different from crit. So, well, I mean, obviously it's different, but it can still be affected by damage reduction costs, damage reducing cards, as well as cards that nullify his effects completely. So, I mean, overall, he's not a bad card. Obviously, he's going to be my buddy as well, but I'm just saying, like, I would have preferred them get rid of the Penetrate ability for when your life is at 1 and giving it this kind of be nullified. Because, I mean, you're risking it a lot by going down to 1 life. So I feel like it would be a lot more worth it if he had some extra protection to keep him on board. But that's just my opinion. But I'm still definitely going to be using this guy as my buddy. Let's move on now to the next monster. We have Demon Dragon Petro. He's a size 2, 5,000 power, 2 crit, and 4,000 defense. Counteract. If there is another Demon Dragon, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's field. You may drop this card from your hand. If you do this turn, those cards gain or lose 10,000 power. And if your life is at 1 for this turn, the chosen cards get -3 critical. So it's a really, really good card to just have, so you basically won't lose, because it not only it affects the power that the monster your opponent has, but as well as it's critical, but only if your life is at 1. So, I mean, overall, this is a really, really strong defensive card. I'll definitely be playing 4 of this, because obviously I don't want to lose.
Obviously.
Alright, so let's move on to the next monster, sorry. We're moving on to Demon Dragon Lupus. He is size 0, 2000 attack, 1 crit, and 1000 defense. His abilities are: you may only call Demon Dragon Lupus once per turn. When this card enters the field, if you have a Demon Dragon on your field, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge and then draw a card. Then if your life is at 6 or less, draw another card. Act: put this card from your field into the soul of a Demon Dragon monster on your field. This card is in the soul of a Demon Dragon monster. That card gains Soul Guard, and if your life is at 6 or less, it gains 10,000 power and 10,000 defense. So this card is a really, really good combo piece, obviously, or partner piece for Belial, because you definitely want to keep it on board since he doesn't have Soul Guard. And he gains an extra 10,000 defense and power, so he'll be really, really hard to get rid of. But like I said, I still would have preferred them giving him protection to keep him on the field a longer period of time. I mean, this helps a lot because it gives him Soul Guard, so...
which is nice and all.
I mean, it doesn't help if the effects are shut down by cards. So, it's a good card. I'm still running it. I'll probably run it at 3. Most likely. Well, I mean, it is your charge and draw card. I mean, I kind of don't like the fact that it was restricted to once per turn. But I mean, it makes sense because you just pretty much just call him out, throw him into the soul, call him out, throw him into the soul, call him out.
I better stop it.
Soul, call him out. Like, you can spam it. So, I mean, but the thing is, like, these charge and draw cards that all the worlds have done in this Ace era, I guess you call it, they get unlimited charge and draw as well. This guy gets restricted to once per turn. So I mean, it's not a bad card. I just wish they wouldn't have restricted it so much. But
not bad, just weird.
Move on to the next monster. We have the searcher for the deck, Demon Dragon Simia. He's a size 0, 1000 power, 1 crit, and 2000 defense. When this card enters the field, you may drop a hand card. If you do, put up to 1 Demon Dragon monster with Belial in its card name, or up to 1 Demon Dragon item from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck. If you have an original size 3 Demon Dragon on the field would leave the field, you may put this card from the field into the drop zone. If you do, that card remains in the field. So I mean, this is more protection for Belial. Again, actually, I don't think there's anything so far that says the entire board gets shut down, right? So, I mean, it's not too bad, but obviously they'll probably get rid of this guy first, and then they'll get rid of Belial. So, I mean, it's not a bad card. I kind of wish it also would have been like, you can grab one from the drop zone just in case if like all your stuff gets in the gauge or in the drop already. You can recycle it out of there. If all your Belials and all your umbrellas are out of the deck, so I mean, like, if they're out of the deck, this card becomes useless. But obviously, since it's a searcher, I will be running this at minimum 3. But let's move on to the next monster. We have Demon Dragon Draco. Size 0, 1000 power, 1 crit, and 1000 defense. Counteract: during an attack on your opponent's turn, you may pay 1 gauge. If you do, call this card from your hand, change its attack target to this card. During your opponent's turn, when this card is destroyed, if your life is at 1, draw a card. Just draw power and an extra shield, so it's not too bad, nothing really special about it. Let's move on to the next monster. We have Demon Dragon Groups. Size 0, 3000 power, 1 critical, and 3000 defense. Call cost: pay 1 gauge. All Demon Dragons on your field cannot be arrested by your opponent's card effects, and their abilities cannot be nullified by your opponent's card effects. In all honesty, this card shouldn't exist. This ability should have been part of Belial's effect, but that's just me.
I'm just being honest.
I'm still going to be running it, but like I said, this is just another card that you have to run mandatory to play the deck, because then they'll just get rid of your Belial like nothing.
With ease. With the greatest of ease.
That's right.
But the thing is also, this will be the primary target for your opponent. Yes, they'll be using up resources to get rid of this and then Belial, but honestly, for most decks now, that isn't a problem. So, like I said, this card shouldn't, honestly, in my opinion, shouldn't exist. This ability should have been part of Belial's effect. That's just me.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
But maybe I'm just asking for too much, but at the same time, I don't feel like I am. Let's move on to the next card. We have Lazy Demon Dragon Slot, size 3, 8,000, 1 crit, and 4,000 defense. Call cost, pay 1 gauge, put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. If an original size 3 Demon Dragon is on the field, reduce this card's size by 3. Counter, act, choose a Demon Dragon on the field, pay 1 gauge. If you do stand the chosen card, this ability can be activated once per turn. So, I mean, it's a restand ability, but it can target any Demon Dragon. So it's not too bad. It's honestly literally every monster is literally just another side piece or combo piece for Belial. I will probably maybe run this at 2. I'm not completely sure. I need to get the cards in my hand so I can figure out the ratios of cards. But so far he's not too bad. But also at the same time not too much to look at. Alright, let's move on to the next monster. We have Demon Dragon Capra. Counter, choose a Demon Dragon on your field. You may drop this card from your hand. If you do choose the chosen card gains plus 5,000 power. Then if your life is at 6 or less, this turn that card gains 100,000 power. Wait, hold on. Okay, did I just read that right? Counter, choose a Demon Dragon on your field. You may drop this card from your hand. If you do, the chosen card gains 5,000 power. Then if your life is at 6 or less for this turn, it gains 100,000 power. He's gaining 105,000 power. That is such an odd number. Because it doesn't say instead, it gains the 5,000 and the 100,000. So this thing just beating over anything at this point. But this Belial is literally beating through anything he wants. So not too bad, but it's
Nah.
It's okay. Now we're going on to Demon Dragon Kirus. Size 0, 1,000, 1 crit, and 2,000 defense. When this card enters the field, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. Then if your life is at 6 or less, put the top 3 cards of your deck into your gauge. Just some more Gauge Excel. It's honestly not bad of a card. This deck kind of hurts with Gauge because a lot of the costs for the monsters, the items, everything costs at minimum 2 Gauge or more. So let's move on to the last 2 monsters we have. We have Demon Dragon Bepho. Size 1, 4,000 power, 1 crit, and 1,000 defense. If your life is at 6 or less, reduce this card's size by 1. When an original size 2 or greater Demon Dragon on your field attacks, drop one of your opponent's gauge, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. Honestly, it's not that good. I'll definitely not be running that. Let's move on to the last monster, and I personally think it's not too bad, honestly. I'll definitely be running this at minimum, I want to say 3.
3 of them things?
Demon Dragon Kolinix. Size 2, 6,000 power, 1 crit, and 3,000 defense. Cost, pay 1 gauge for the top card of your deck into this card's soul. If you have 6 life or less, reduce the size of this card by 2. When this card attacks, choose a monster in your opponent's field, destroy that card. If your life is at 6 or less, drop all the souls of the chosen card and destroy it. Move, double attack, and soul guard. So, I mean, like I said, this ability isn't bad at all, honestly, because it gives you it's a very good field control card, and since its stats aren't too bad, and there's enough cards to bump it up to be able to swing through anything. But the moment it declares an attack, you choose a card and pop it. So even though it'll probably whiff the attack, it'll still be destroying something on the field. So it's not too bad, honestly. I like it. All right, let's move on to the you know what? Let's move on to the item real fast. We have Black Parasol of Eternal Darkness Umbrella. Item 3,000 power and 1 critical. Equip cost, put 2 Demon Dragons from your drop zone into this card's soul, pay 2 gauge. You do not take damage by card effects. And if your life is at 1, this card gains 10,000 power and 2 critical. So it'll become a 13k hitter with 3 crit. When this card attacks, drop one of your opponent's gauge. Then if your life is at 1, draw a card and your opponent drops a hand card. So this This whole deck right now gives me a lot of Thought Punk vibes, but personally thinking a better version of it.
Prove me wrong.
That's just me. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's not a bad item. The thing is, Archetype only gets one item right now, so you kind of have to mandatorily play this. I mean, there are some other Darkness Dragon World items you can run, but it's not specifically for the Archetype. I mean, I know you don't have to run Archetype specific cards, so I mean, I'll probably be running some other different kind of items as well. But I'll definitely be running this at minimum 3 because I do have a searcher for it. So it's not too bad. Alright, let's move on to the Impact. Eradicate Avenge. You may only cast this card if your cards have attacked 2 times or more this turn. If you have a Demon Dragon on the field. Cast cost, pay 2 gauge, choose a Demon Dragon on your field, deal damage to your opponent equal to its critical. So this is where Belial's crits cannot be reduced ability comes into play. So you're pretty much guaranteed hitting for 666 crits or damage. But it's not too bad overall. Alright, let's move on to the spells real fast. We have Negative Survive. Only cast this card during your opponent's turn if you have a Demon Dragon on the field. Cast cost, pay 2 gauge, counter for this turn. When your life becomes 0, it becomes 1 instead. You may only cast Negative Survive once per turn. So if I'm reading this correctly, it says for this turn. So what I'm assuming is that every time your life drops to 0, it'll go back to 1. Like I said, if I'm reading this correctly, it says right here, for this turn, when your life becomes 0, becomes 1 instead. So it's not the very first time your life becomes 0, but the entire turn, every time your life hits 0, it goes to 1. I mean, if that's exactly how that's going to play out, then it's not a bad card. I just really wish it wasn't once per fight. But, I mean, for the effect, if I'm reading this correctly, if for that kind of effect, it's not bad at all. I'll definitely be running this at least at 2 to 3. I mean, you only really, like I said, like it says, you only really need just 1 to go off. So that's what I'm saying, like, I'll definitely be running 3 of these, just in case if one of them gets negated, or just in case if I need to have it in hand, I can see it more often. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's not a bad card. I'll definitely be running it. Well, I mean, you kind of mandatorily have to be running that. You definitely don't want to lose or die, because I mean, like, you're at 1 life for the majority of the game, so yeah, it matters. Alright, let's move on to the next spell. We have Diabolo's Soul. Cast cost, destroy a Demon Dragon on your field. Put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge and draw 2 cards. Then if your life is at 6 or less, draw a card. So it's essentially a charge 2, draw 3. So it's a spell that everyone has in their deck. It's once per turn, just like everyone else. It's once per turn, just like everyone else's. It's not a bad card. I'll definitely be running it, because I mean, you always need draw power nowadays, so it's not bad. All right, let's move on to the next spell. We have Investigation of Bad Moon. You can only cast this card during your opponent's turn if you have a Demon Dragon on your field. Counter, choose one of the following 2 effects. Draw a card, then the next damage dealt to you this turn is reduced to 0. Pay as much life as you want. If you do, for this turn, damage is reduced to the number of life you have paid. So it's a really good versatile card. You can either use it once you're at 1 life, and you can pretty much guarantee you don't take damage, and you draw a card to replace this card, as well as you can put yourself to 1 life, and all your effects will be live next turn. So overall, it's a really versatile card. I like it a lot. Let's move on to the next spell. We have Demon Summoning Contract Circle. Cast cost, drop a hand card, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put up to 2 Demon Dragon monsters or item from among them into your hand, put the rest of it into your gauge. This is essentially a Vortex Link or a Superhero Time, but for Demon Dragons, so it's honestly really good. I like it a lot. I kind of wish it would say you can choose a combination of either 2 Demon Dragons and an item, 2 Demon Dragons or a Demon Dragon and an item. I really would have preferred that effect, but honestly, I can't complain too much about this card, because overall it's a really good card. The only thing is that the cost is you have to discard cards, so It's not bad, honestly, overall. Next spell, we have Chaotic Pain. Cast cost, pay 1 life, put top 3 cards of your deck into your drop zone, then put top 3 cards of your deck into your gauge. Just another gauge to sell, nothing really too much to look at. Let's move on to the next spell. We have Diabolo's Grave. Cast cost, pay 1 gauge, put up to 2 Demon Dragon monsters or item with different card names from your drop zone into your hand, and you may only cast Diabolo's Grave. It doesn't have anything else, but I'm assuming it says once per turn. Because it's saying put up to 2 Demon Dragon monsters or items with different names. So it says 2 Demon Dragon monsters or items. I'm assuming you could put any kind of item back into your hand. So if that's the way it's worded and that's the way it's going to play out, that makes this spell a little bit better. Because, like I said, just like the other spell that we talked about before, just like the Belial or item searcher we have, just like right here on the card art, just like how we talked about Simia, the little imp guy on the card right there, the item searcher and Belial searcher, says you can add a Belial or the item, and like this one says you can add 2 Demon Dragons or items. So I'm assuming you can only choose either items or monsters. You can't choose a mixture of both. I kind of wish it would allow you to choose a mixture of both, but overall it's not a bad card. So I'll definitely be running that as well. If your life is at 1, you do not need to pay the cast cost for this card. Cast cost, pay 2 life, counter call up to 1 Demon Dragon from your drop zone by paying its call cost. Then if your life is at 6 or less for this turn, that card gains 10,000 power and 10,000 defense. Only cast Diabolo's Conversion once per turn. Really, really good card, really, really good versatility, because it doesn't restrict you to only on your opponent's turn, so you can play this on your turn as well to be extremely, extremely aggressive. I like it a lot. Let's move on to the next spell. 100 Demon Sorcery, Death Sacrifice. Obviously, they were going to have to reprint this card because it's such a good card for Darkness Dragon World in general. Let's give it a quick read real fast. Cast cost, destroy any number of monsters on your field as you like. Draw cards equal to the number of monsters you have destroyed. You may only cast 100 Demon Sorcery, Death Sacrifice once per turn. Obviously, people are going to have to run this at 2 to 3. It's such a good draw card. Let's move on to the next spell. We have Diabolo's Disposal. If your life is at 1, you do not need to pay the cast cost for this card. Cast cost, destroy a Demon Dragon on your field and pay 2 gauge. Oh, for that kind of cost, it better be good. Counter, choose to use one of the following 2. Destroy all monsters in your opponent's field. Drop up to 3 of your opponent's gauge. Damn! Since it is at counter speed, this card kind of hurts. So I mean, for the cast cost, it is a little painful if you're not at 1 life, but overall it's pretty worth it because you can either nuke the board, stop your opponent from attacking essentially. The only thing is, it only won't work if your opponent has a deck that requires or has them have a lot of soul for specific monsters. So I would honestly probably use it to drop your opponent. I would honestly prefer to use it to drop your opponent's gauge down by 3. That would hurt them a lot more, especially for nowadays. Decks do require you to have at minimum 3 to 4 gauge to even go off. Well, like all decks, once you go off, it goes off hard, so it hurts. The 3 gauge hurts a lot. So let's move on to the next spell. We have Diabolo's Shield. You can only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn if you have a Demon Dragon on your field. So it's a shield specific requirements, just like other shields nowadays. You have to have a Demon Dragon on board. Let's see what its effect is. Counter, nullify the attack. Then if your life is at 6 or less, put the top part of your deck into your gauge and draw a card. Not a bad spell, not a bad card at all. Let's move on to the next spell. We have Rondo of Red Moon, set spell. When a Demon Dragon enters the field, you may put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge. This ability can only be activated once per turn. Then if your life would become 0, put this card into your drop zone. Put the top card of your deck into your drop zone. If that card, the Demon Dragon, your life becomes 1. You may only have 1 Rondo of Red Moon set on your field. So this is essentially literally just 4 Purgatory Knights. I think it's called break something body and sustain mind. If you guys know the name of it, if you guys know the full name of the set spell, please leave it in the comments down below so I know which one. That way I know the full name of it, because honestly for a while I was contemplating running that as well into this deck as a small tech, but I mean we have one already here and it's a lot easier to pull off because it says Demon Dragon. So there's, well, the entire archetype is Demon Dragons. Even this is a Demon Dragon. So if you reveal this for the cost or for the activation of this effect, you will get that 1 life. But for the set spell for the Purgatory Knights, you have to reveal a spell, and your life will go up to 2, I believe, instead of 1. So I mean, it's not too bad, but I'm glad we have a set spell just like that spell, so I won't have to run the Purgatory set spell. But it's not bad, not a bad spell at all. All right, let's move on to the next one. We have Death Astray. You may only cast this card if your life is at 4 or more. Cast cost, your life becomes 3. Discard all cards in your hand, draw 4. You may only cast Death Astray once per turn. I honestly don't know how I feel about this. It is a pretty old card, but I honestly don't know how I feel about it. Let's just move on to the next one. We have Diabolos Storm. For this turn, all Demon Dragons on your field cannot have their powers reduced by your opponent's card effects, and when a size 3 Demon Dragon attacks, destroy a card on your opponent's field. If you do, drop 1 of your opponent's gauge. So it's every time he attacks, I can pop something and get rid of 1 of my opponent's gauges. This is literally just God Punk, but better.
That's a reach.
Let's move on to the very last spell we have here. We have Diabolos Death Drive. You can only cast this card during an attack on your opponent's turn and if a Demon Dragon is on your field. Nullify the attack, and if your life is at 6 or less, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your gauge and drop 2 of your opponent's gauges. So, like I said, this is literally just God Punk, but better.
Am I lying?
But yeah, that's going to be about it for this video, guys. If you guys like the video, please hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on notifications, because you guys definitely don't want to miss a second of this content. That's about it for this video, guys. Really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
That